A very good evening, dear listener. Reporting live from the Explorer Studios is Maleka Kayesu. And in our headlines, President Museveni bans illegal presence of nomads in northern Uganda. Honorable John Chrysostom Muyingo presents statement on expired courses, and KCCA announces full control of the city markets. Here's the news in details. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has put a complete ban on the illegal presence of nomads known as Bararo in northern Uganda on grounds of indiscipline and illegally occupying land. The order read, "This executive order, issued under the powers given to the President by Article 99, Section 2 of the 1995 Constitution, will cover the anti-cattle rustling efforts in north and northeastern Uganda, the damage of the environment by the charcoal business, the damage caused by the indisciplined nomads known as Bararo, recasting the Uganda police force into Uganda-wide police instead of being a Kampala police, and the problem of Turkana nomads." Relatively, President Museveni has today afternoon urged farmers to add value to their output in order to uplift their welfare. He said this while visiting Bukoto's Central Youth Link Coffee Factory at Kamzinda village in Chanamkaka sub-county, Masaka district, where he urged farmers to add value to their output in order to uplift their welfare. While addressing the farmers, President Museveni appreciated them for transforming their lives by getting involved in commercial agriculture. The Minister for Higher Education, Honorable John Chrysostom Muyingo, has today presented a statement on expired courses in Parliament and clarified that qualification of graduates on programs that have received prior accreditation in accordance to the National Council for Higher Education minimum standards and regulations are valid. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Thomas Tayebwa, thanked the Honourable for the important clarification. However, he strongly cautioned the Minister against using strong words without knowing the impact they can have. He said, "Why use the word expiry? These programs only require review but are not expired. An expired product is thrown in the trash can." According to Commissioner of Police Pauline Amae, effective tomorrow, 25th May 2023, the traffic police will be actively recovering express penalty scheme arrears countrywide. The new APS will be issued to drivers that shall contravene traffic rules. She said, "We urge all drivers to clear any pending arrears on APS tickets to avoid any inconveniences. As we return children to school, let us exercise caution and work together to keep our roads safe and compliant." The Anti-Corruption Court has today charged the Kitgum Commercial Officer Atom Morish and Agriculture Officer Okira Denish for diverting over 500 million Uganda shillings funds meant for implementation of the parish development model. The duo has joined the Chief Administrative Officer and other officials that were earlier charged for the same. Uganda and Rwanda have agreed to work closely to pull off the much-anticipated standard gauge railway line connecting Kampala and Kigali. This was disclosed during the SGR cluster meeting held at Mistil Hotel in Kampala. Officials from Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, and South Sudan attended the meeting aimed at revitalizing the implementation of the stalled railway project. The SGR project coordinator, Engineer Perez Wamburu, said, "Uganda will not wait for the completion of the construction of the Eastern Route railway line. Once we secure funding for the construction of Kampala-Kasese and Podwe-Mirama Hills, work will begin." The Kampala Capital City Authority has announced its full takeover and control of the city markets and abattoirs after banning old market leaderships and subsequent appointment of 36 new administrators. Speaking to journalists in Kampala, Honorable Misa Kavanda, the Minister for Kampala Capital City and Metropolitan Affairs, said the move is meant to ensure full realization of the presidential directive which gave KCCA the mandate to manage and control markets. She said, "The President issued a directive that gave KCCA the mandate to run the markets. However, there have been speculations in the media, especially on Lufula, commonly known as the city abattoir, regarding the streamlining of the administration of these markets." The Presidential Advisory Committee on Exports and Industrial Development, led by Chairman Odrek Rabogo, have urged the government to invest resources into the recently inaugurated Trade Frontier Fund. The committee believes that this initiative will strengthen Ugandan exporters and enable them to meet their growing demand in international markets. The leadership of Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union has said engagements are underway to send some of the 3,000 well-skilled nurses who are not employed by the government to work abroad. This was revealed by Mr. Justus Cherub, the president of the Midwives Union. He was commenting on the ongoing plans by some labor companies in the country to send nurses to work in the United Kingdom and the Middle East. He added that the government currently employs 28,000 nurses and midwives out of the 62,000 who are qualified in Uganda. And in our last story, Arua City authorities led by the Arua City authorities led by the RCC, Ms. Ali Sakelo, handed over 45 South Sudanese children to the office of the Prime Minister and the United Nations Refugee Agency after they were found in a residence unworthy of habitation. The children were found at a residence in Olumin, Sel, Driwala Ward in Naivu West Division after residents reported to authorities that they were being stabbed and only surviving on mangoes. One of the children said they had stayed for 4 days without food and that their caretaker had gone to the refugee settlement to collect their rations. Thank you for listening to us here on Explorer Online Radio, the home of reliable and authentic news. Have a blessed evening.